Hey everybody, welcome to tkanddrinks. We got another What's the Story going on today. All the way from, I believe it's Roanoke, Virginia?
Roanoke, Virginia.
Roanoke, Virginia. You got Atheling Meadworks, my man Steven, is it Ausband?
Ausband, yep.
Steven Ausband from Atheling Meadworks, the owner, proprietor, head mead maker, master and designer of all things mead. Thank you for being here today, my man.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Oh, hey, I love talking mead with anybody who wants to give me an ear and a jaw. It's a rather fun pastime, I think.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and do a little introduction for yourself? Let everybody know who you are and what you guys are all about over there at Atheling Meadworks.
Oh man, I don't want to. Let's see here. I started this because my wife got tired of me taking over parts of the house with my mead making. And I've been making mead. My grandfather got me started when I was about 14. Actually, he was a home winemaker, and ever since I was little, he had the carboys and all that in the house. And being something of a character, I guess, he gave me the stuff to order all my own stuff when I was 14. So I sent in a check and a self-addressed stamp and envelope, because that's how you did it back in the days. And no kidding, the company sent me a big box with everything I needed. And the first thing I made was a Cabernet Sauvignon out of a kit. And then I did a mead, and Mom drove me to the store, and I bought out every little bitty container of Subi honey, and made a horrible mess in the kitchen. And I got the recipe out of some book somewhere, I think, and made a mead that would make you want to go out and burn a monastery the next morning. It was I was talking with my dad about it the other day. He's like, yeah, that stuff was horrible. So, but yeah. And then was doing it as a hobby for a lot of years. Let's see, that puts me at like 30-ish years, something like that. And then I took over my dining room when we moved into the house, and I've got a big 13-gallon fermenter. My wife had stepped out, and I thought that I could fill it up in the kitchen, and once it was full, it'd be too heavy to move, right? So it just expand into the kitchen, my operation. And She came home mid-fill, and something was going, and it was the mead. Oh. So, that was the end of my making mead at the house. We started to say, okay, we'll get a shed or something. I was like, I've been kind of dreaming of going commercial for years. So we looked around and got this place, and here we are now.
Very cool, my man. And how long you guys been in that commercial at this location?
We signed the lease in this place in 2018, and then it took about a year to get all the permits and everything. So we started Firesong in 2019. We got it in the bottle in June. Pardon me, been going ever since. Yep, that's it. It's my straight raspberry blossom.
Gotcha.
And, yeah.
Well, since we're talking about that, let's take a little detour.
Awesome, let's do it.
And see if we can't talk about this one. Now, this one, you had mentioned your first mead you made came out like jet fuel. What was that flavor profile you said?
Burn a monastery was the flavor profile on that one. It was
Burn a monastery. That's hilarious. And
yeah, it was. I mean, it was like straight off the shelf at the supermarket. Honey, there's a pull tab on those, by the way. On the
I'm
side.
looking and I don't see it.
Should be.
Oh, it goes horizontally. I'm looking for like the vertical kind. See, the problem is you have to be smarter than the bottle, and I've yet to achieve that. So I'm hoping by this time next year I'll be there. But so let's get into a little backstory on the Firesong here. So what's the flavor profile you were saying? So raspberry blossom traditional?
That's a raspberry blossom, just a straight mead. water, honey, yeast. I got my own well under the facility, which is one of the reasons why I, scored this place.
Gotcha.
And it's got a little sweetness to it. I make wine-like meads, and it's 13, 14%. I'd have to look at the bottle, but it's got some fruity notes in there that come. I mean, it all comes from the honey. It's strictly from the honey there.
Gotcha. Okay.
A little bit sweet, not super sweet. I don't like super sweet, so
No,
got a little sweetness to it.
just a little bit. Were you saying so in the semi-sweet leaning or off sweet?
A little off dry. Yep.
Oh, off dry. Okay. So I definitely love the cool little. I can't know if you can see it there in the picture. There we go. Got the cool the artwork on there. It goes down the sides, and I like the fact that since you're using these types of caps, that you've sealed it down to the thing, because I've had issues with that in the past, as being a fault, through shipping, had them pop open and whatnot.
Yep. Sending those to Arizona, I was really worried they'd be sitting in like 120-degree heat or something like that, cooking in a truck somewhere.
No, thankfully the UPS driver that drives to my house sees my purchases enough that he tries to get it fairly early in the day, so it's usually here by noon. So it's not sitting in that truck till like 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Nice. Yeah, we ship all over. We got 40 states we ship to. I got a map behind me with pins. I always put a pin in the city where they're going, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of that. That's freaking awesome. So how full is, not how full like number of shipments, but like how full is your board? How many different areas have you hit?
Oh shoot, you would ask. I would have to look. We hadn't got to all 40 states yet. I know that. Okay. But yeah, we've been all up and down the east and west coast, and
nice.
Yeah, it's been all over. I don't know exactly how many states.
I got you. All right. So definitely loving the clarity. I mean, that thing is like, other than the slight condensation from the humidity in here, that's like brilliantly clear, perfectly clear. Yeah. Oh, it's a tiny bit of bubbles there remaining after the pour. Ooh, I like that. It's a bit on the very floral right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of like a dark berry note there at the backside, I would say. But I'm still learning, so you're probably much more accustomed to it. So what's the flavor profile supposed to build?
No, that's exactly it. It's got floral notes, some berry kind of stuff from raspberry blossom honey, and it's always good to get other folks tasting it, because it's like I taste it all the time. So
yeah, definitely I would say on the off-dry side.
Mm-hmm.
Good acidic, sweet balance, not too flabby, not not burning my tongue up. I would say light on the tannins on the backs, not like sweltering my tongue up, not very astringent. Good kind of a like another floral, not like a fault of a floral, but like a like a breath from a meadow or something like that.
Yeah,
I like that. So you were saying this is your flagship, huh?
Yep, first one we brought out, and yeah,
that was back in 2019.
June of 2019 is when we bottled that.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, and yeah, I like straight meads, so I've got two of those are straight, the Firesong and the Midnight Dale. I've got two more straight meads that I'm getting teed up to serve at the bar in here, and so you can do a lot with straight meads. I like straight meads.
So the other one you mentioned was the Midnight Dale, which I believe is this one here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that is just what kind of honey did you use in this one? It doesn't say, it just says straight mead. So was that like a wildflower or a blended?
It's wildflower, yeah.
Wildflower, okay.
Wildflower and sweeter. That's the probably the sweetest I have out on the market right now.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I got it, and we've got it up on the website. We can ship it. I've run into trouble with the bottle shortage. I don't know if you know or not, but there's a national bottle shortage.
Yeah.
And So I am trying desperately to get enough bottles together to bottle that, to get it out in stores and stuff. Right now I'm custom bottling them. Somebody puts in an order, I fill on demand with the bottles that I have.
I gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
so that's cool that you're even able to do that, because I definitely know certain bottle shapes and sizes seem to be a little harder to acquire than others. But yeah, man, this whole bottle shortage thing is definitely a very inconvenient thing for the home brewers and the commercial people alike, I would say.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm hoping that it won't be much longer. I'll get in enough, get that, out all the way. But we were at least able to get it on to the market and able to ship it. It's just do it with what we got,
Right. Got to deal with the punches as they come, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So let's go back down the line here real quick.
Yeah, sure.
While we got them going on. This one we got here is the Shield Maiden.
Yes.
And this is the raspberry blossom honey with blackberries.
Yep. And they are, I know a question came up when we were watching your live stream the other day that is fermented together. It's the same honey as in the Firesong, but I ferment it dry and then I age it on heavy toast French oak. So it's got a little bit of sugar in it, but it's got enough tannin where it's not sweet. It comes across as very dry. So it's got strong berry notes to it. It's a little higher in alcohol, but it should be smooth for you. We'll see how it does.
Yeah, that one I think was like 17 or 18% or 16% something.
18.
18%. Yeah. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that one, man. That blackberries, being from the Pacific Northwest, man, blackberries were a daily thing for me up there, picking off the berries in the yard and stuff. So.
Yep, I love blackberries.
Oh yeah, man. And then the final one we picked up from you guys was, I believe it's Firesong.
Firesong, yep.
Firesong, which is a no, I can't read it from back here.
It's all right. That is a wildflower honey with grape, and it's specifically Merlot grape. I can't say Merlot grape on the label because it's a label regulatory issue.
There's no Merlot in it, so you can't put Merlot on the label.
Exactly. It's not a Merlot wine, but
Right.
It is the type of grape that I used. And again, aged it on heavy toast French oak, brought that one in a little bit sweeter, so you get more of the grape character with it, and it was a darker, stronger honey. So
I gotcha.
yeah, and that one's that and the Midnight Ale are the two sweetest I have out right now.
So these two are the sweeter ones, and those two are the drier ones.
Oh, the drier ones, yep.
Gotcha.
And
You said
the Shield Maiden's the driest.
that's this one here.
Yes.
And you said you had a couple more flavors getting ready to hit the deck here pretty soon?
I do. I've got damson plum with raspberry blossom honey that I'm bringing that one in a little sweeter yet. It's almost dessert wine kind of stuff, but not cloying. And I'm actually was bouncing back and forth label drafts today. And that one's really good. I've got a wildflower honey with vanilla, cinnamon, and ginger that's OffDry that I'm hoping to get bottles to bring out by the holidays. And then those are all of my big fermenters. In my small one that I hope to get out behind the bar here in a little bit, I've got a local wildflower honey, a chestnut blossom honey, and then some variations on the blackberry with raspberry, where I've just done kind of started with that blackberry raspberry fermentation and then different things with it. So we'll see how it comes out.
So you said you enjoy doing the doing traditionals or straight meads. What's the you don't see that a lot out there. It's certainly much less frequent than it is. What draws you to that? As somebody who's getting started making starting home brewing themselves and mead making, I plan on going that route myself. I want to do all different traditionals and just see what I can do there before I add any adjuncts in. Or, I feel like personally, I'd be getting in way over my head if I was to just dive in and start changing all these variables and adding in acids from fruits and extra sugars and all this stuff. I want to feel like I even have a slight understanding of what the base product is before I start expanding out into this whole, universe, cosmic universe of flavors.
Yeah. It's several things, I think. I like the challenge of it. I like, there's so many honey profiles. A raspberry blossom honey is radically different from a buckwheat honey or an avocado blossom, right? So you can do the same, kind of fermentation, and you just get those wonderful variations in flavor just with the variations in honey. And I love to be able to showcase that kind of thing. Now, obviously, I make pie mints and melomels as well, and love doing those as well. But I tend to stick with a fairly limited set of ingredients in any one mead, and just try to really focus on those ingredients as opposed to lots of things in the fermentation, either in primary or secondary. But I've always enjoyed the challenge of a straight mead, and I've always enjoyed a nice quality straight mead where you get those different honey characteristics in there.
Yeah, I agree. To me, I like, relatively new into the mead scene and everything. I like to see the cornucopia of different styles everybody has.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see the guys that are out there doing the 16 different adjuncts and 3 different fermentations and all this stuff. I think it's really cool. But to me, it's just something that's rather, my term, I rather noble about wanting to do just the product itself. Simplicity. There's something about being a product being genius in its simplicity. If you just take something very minuscule ingredients and make it into a show-winning, a crowd-pleasing product. I mean, that speaks above everything else. Let the popularity speak, so to speak.
Oh yeah, and you can do so much with meads. You can have wonderful meads with 16 different things in them, like you said. Your wonderful meads are your straight meads. The low alcohol, sparkling, not sparkling. The variety that's just available is so cool with this.
Yep, I agree 100%. So you've got these 4 that are out commercially. You got some ones that are coming out, here by holiday season. Fingers crossed if everything goes well.
Fingers crossed. Yep.
What's your favorite mead that you've made either here now commercially or over the years? You got to have one that, or at least that towards the top of the list.
Towards the top of my list, the Shield Maiden is definitely toward the top of my list.
Okay.
Like I said, I try to make things I like. Yeah, I like the Shield Maiden. Right before I went commercial, I made one that was an avocado blossom honey capsumel with Carolina Reaper peppers. And the trick, the trick with that one was I wanted to bring it in with just a little heat, but not melt your face heat.
Sure.
And it actually came out really well. It's this nice, smoky, rich honey flavor with just a subtle heat on the backside. I'm going to be working with that one in my small batch stuff here in the next few months, I think.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the Shield Maiden has been one of my favorites I've done in a long, long time.
So other than the first batch of Burnham Monastery that we made, do you have any other ones that have kind of turned sideways on you, or something that was just a little less than desirable? Maybe you had to repurpose it?
Oh yeah, if you hadn't done meads that go sideways on you, you hadn't made enough meads. Probably, oh shoot, I made one with it was lemon, wasn't lemongrass, lemon balm.
Okay.
Lemon basil, and it smelled great. And lemon basil was smelled wonderful in there. The fermentation was great. It tasted like a golf green. I swear, it was like grass clippings. And it was gorgeous. I kept it in my basement and kept tweaking it. So it was in this glass carboy, and it just looked amazing. And I could not get it to be anything except horrible unless you were an herbivore. And so, yeah, that one went down the drain. That was probably one of my more dramatic failures, except for burn a monastery.
So you guys have been commercial now for a couple, 2 years. Do you guys have a bottle club or anything that you operate?
We don't. And I thought I was going to set one up when we first started. It turns out it was good fortune, I guess, because now that I have a hard time getting bottles, I have a really hard time filling orders on a schedule.
Sure.
But I wasn't sure that I could produce the quality I wanted on a set schedule, and I didn't want to promise and then not be able to deliver.
Right.
So I just didn't do the bottle club from the outset, and kind of hadn't quite gotten around to it yet.
I gotcha. That makes sense. You're not trying to overburden yourself with too many projects and get yourself into a bind where you know, get behind the 8 ball, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
So having, been around mead since you were 14, or, since you were a young man, and, having obviously a commercial mead, you must have had, and I'm sure you've been to competitions and whatnot, you've had to, try the breadth of mead throughout your years. Is there any of them that stand out as favorites amongst the throngs, as it were?
There's actually, it's kind of cool because I've had, a bunch of different meads over the years, and I've had some wonderful home meads that folks have made. And when I was studying for the
Yay, technology.
Yeah, technology. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but the computer dropped the internet and the meadery and tried to connect to my printer. Go figure.
Mine does that type of shit all the time, so
Yeah.
I completely don't understand along with you.
Yep. Same here.
So you were saying, what's one of the best meads that you've ever tried throughout the years?
Yeah, I was about to say there've been a ton of meads that I've tried, and I've enjoyed a bunch of them. They're all, different. There've been some great homemade meads. I got some buddies of mine make some great mead, and then I ordered a bunch of meads for studying for BJCP, and there were several that were just really, really good, even though a lot of them were different from each other, honestly. And so I'm not sure if there's like one single one that was more awesome than another. There's
Sure.
several awesome ones that were just different kinds of awesome, if you follow.
I'm picking up what you're laying down, my man. I totally get what you're saying. It's hard to pinpoint one when there's so many different great things out there. You got 4 different commercial products here. You've been brewing again for a long time now. Do you have a favorite yeast strain that you stick to through all these things, or do you kind of vary it amongst the meads there?
I use different yeast depending on the flavor profile that I want.
Okay.
So I will, select the yeast to complement the flavor profile that I'm shooting for with that. So it depends on, kind of what I'm going for. I'm trying to think. If memory serves, you got 3 or 4 different yeasts in those 4 meads.
Oh, wow.
Actually, yeah. So I use a bunch of stuff. It's just yeast wise. It just depends on what I'm going for. It's part of the setup.
Part of the setup. I got you.
Yeah.
Speaking of part of the setup, let's set up the next drink in my cup here. What are we thinking we want to go with? I picked that Firesong.
Yeah.
What are you thinking here, man? What do you want me to try?
What do you like, dry or sweet?
I'm a sweet person myself, but that's why I went with the drier one, because I'm trying to make sure to expand out on my palate and be sure to try everything. I really like that. To me, it didn't come off, like I said, I would personally call that, like you said, either off-dry or even kind of a little more middle leaning, because I barely got, well, personally, not a lot of perceived dryness or tannic value, but again, it was very well balanced. I guess maybe that's why it didn't seem that way, because it was so well balanced and put together. So
nice. Tell you what, why don't we go with the other straight mead, the just water honey yeast with the midnight ale? and that one's going to be a little sweeter for you.
All right. So let's see if I can't actually use the tab this time and not look like a clown for 14 minutes. You know, hey, look at that. It can be done in one fell swoop, people. I swear, it's not the product, it's the operator. It's ID 10T error. Look that up. All right. So for this is called the, this is the Midnight Dale. I do got a cool little story back here. It says crafted with only wildflower honey, deep mountain well water, and yeast. Oh, saw the condensation. The floral notes of the honey used for this mead shine through. Amber colored and sweet, this mead captures the essence of summer. This is the summer in Roanoke, Virginia, my folks.
I hope so.
Said that. Otherwise, we totally missed the mark.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, definitely picking up some sweet honey characteristics in that one. That one's just straight up. That one just smells like a bucket of fermented honey right there. And I do have to say, man, I'm in absolute love with these bottles. I don't know what the name of that shape of that bottle is, but I love them. I think they work really well with your product.
Thank you, thank you. It's really cool going commercial. It's kind of, you know, there's all sorts of things you don't think about. One of them is like, what shape of bottle am I going to use? So,
Right.
Yeah, we looked through a bunch of different bottle shapes and settled on that one because in part we thought it was cool too.
Yeah, see, I talked to one of the cats out here, and they said the same thing about their tasting glasses. They said they went through all these different shapes of their tasting glasses, and they settled on the one with the beehive because they felt it gave them the best aromatics and all that stuff. And hey, man, whatever works best for you, I say go with it because that's what's going to make you happy and continue to make a happy, tasty product.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely lots of honey character in that. Light fermentation note, I would say, at the end. Oh yeah, much on the sweeter side, but again, like you said, not syrupy. So you got a medium body to it. It's not super heavy. Kind of got a little bit of a shorter mouth feel to it. I like that. That's very tasty, my man.
Thank you.
You know how to make a proper mead, brother. I hope I can make mead this good someday.
I try.
And it shows. So, do you ferment all your stuff dry and then back sweeten it to whatever your desired sweetness is, or do you try to target ferment, or how do you guys operate?
It depends on the product, honestly. Some of them I'll target ferment, and then some of them I'll ferment and then adjust with back sweetening to get exactly where I need.
Gotcha.
But again, it's kind of like the yeast. It just depends on the product with those.
Yeah, different products, different techniques. I get it. I totally on board with that. So let's assume you guys are doing like a dinner or something like that. Do you guys do any like mead or food pairings or anything like that up at the tap room, or do you guys design any of your meads to be paired with food?
We actually designed the meads primarily just to be themselves, and then they'll go with some things more than others. That particular one's got a lot of honey in it. You could do a lot with that. I like the Shield Maiden with steak because it's dry and robust and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I am not much of a foodie, I have to admit. So a lot of my drinking mead is just drinking mead.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Drinking mead is good. I love to get everybody's input and take on things.
Yep. But I'll do the I love the Lyre Song on like a late summer's evening when I've chilled it and just sit back and sip it on the porch. And I love the Shield Maiden with a good robust steak dinner kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. I'm on board with that, dude. Anything we can do to help accentuate the flavors of the meads or of the food paired with them is awesome.
Yeah, I'll tell folks it's like go with what you like, this sort of thing. Enjoy it. It's meant to be enjoyed, right? Exactly.
Have you guys done any collabs with anybody over the years, or any of your homebrew guys ever get together and team brew projects or anything?
You know, I never have. Over all these years, it's always been just myself and the family. I certainly wouldn't be opposed to doing a collab with somebody at some point. Just kind of the opportunity never came up, sort of thing.
I gotcha. Is there anybody out there who's another commercial meadery that you tried their stuff and you know, like, man, I think we could make a cool collab together. Not to put anybody on the spot or anything, just, you know, more of a vibe type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's several. Anybody else who makes, I think you could go a couple of ways, because I make a very, you know, wine-like mead.
Right.
You know, it'd be interesting to collaborate with somebody else who makes a similar product, but it'd also be really interesting to collaborate with somebody who does, you know, like a low ABV session mead, and
right.
see what you come up with, kind of putting your heads together. So that'd be kind of cool. It's just, like I said, hadn't had an opportunity for it to come up yet.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you've had Dan Schreffler's stuff up from Spacetime Mead and Cider Works there in Scranton, Pennsylvania, but man, his stuff is very wine related property wise, man. I think you guys, if you guys ever teamed up, and he teams up actually with a winery up there as well, Honey Hole Winery. Yeah, man, I think that would be a phenomenal meadery collab or something.
Yeah.
I just love the meeting of the minds, man. I love being able to see what everybody thinks and puts it together, and what type of, you know, miraculous stuff can come from, you know, a greater mindset, so to speak.
Oh yeah. We had a really cool chance to get up with some folks down in the Wilmington, North Carolina area that are trying to start a meadery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we were just happened to be down there. We were shooting some messages back and forth. Retro Meadery is going to be their brand when they come out. Yeah. You did an interview with them.
Yeah, Mike and those guys.
Yeah. So it was pretty awesome, because we're like, hey, we're not that far away. We got together and drank some mead, and I mean, it's always fun when mead makers get together, I think.
I agree, man. I'm dying to try their stuff. I haven't got you know, they can't ship it and they're not commercial and all that stuff yet, but I hear they make some really good flavors. They've got a sangria one called like Pac Bria or Pac Sangria or something like that. It's got Pac-Man on it and everything. They have some cool flavors, and I think they're doing a neat thing down there. I'm dying to see what they end up putting together.
Yeah. And every meadery is, even the biggest meaderies are really, you know, what I call mom and pop operations, right? It's just, you know, some folks trying their best, experimenting, making some really cool products. I think that is so neat that's where the industry is right now. I
agree. It's even like, unless you're up in like the first, you know, 4, maybe even 5 biggest meaderies in the country, you know, you're up at like Superstition or maybe like Moonlight's level, something like that. Everybody else is pretty much, that's them going to work. I mean, the CEO is the guy who's doing the work down in making the mead and everything like that. It's a like you said, a family operation, a one-man operation.
Yeah, I was about to make a joke about being the mead maker and like the chief bottle washer, but about 2 hours ago, I was literally washing bottles. So yeah, I was, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I had my head stuck into my glycol chiller trying to fix that.
Right.
It's just, yeah.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so pretty much anybody out there that you vino shipper from them, I mean, it's those people that, I mean, the owner that you are buying the stuff from. If you email the people, it's the owner and the operator that you're talking to. And I think, to me, I get like a little bit starstruck when I talk to you guys, because it's like you're out there living so many people's dreams. You know what I mean? And I understand it comes at a cost. You know, you got the meadery overhead, and like I said, it makes me feel starstruck because you're like regular people you can just reach out to. And, you know, if I got a question in the home brewing world and everything, I can just reach out and say, hey, I really like your guys' product. How did you achieve this flavor profile? And 9 out of 10 times, or even like 99 out of 100 times, you're going to get an excited email back. Oh man, you like my stuff? Hey, thanks. I'd love to be able to teach you how to achieve that desired result you're looking for.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, it's like, it was so cool because like when somebody orders to ship, you know, it's either myself or my wife Ginger's is coming in, putting those things in the in the cartons, and you kind of worry the stuff there. You know, it's going from here to, you know, wherever, Maine or California or Arizona.
Right.
And it's so cool when I saw you open up the box on the video the other day. It's like, oh yeah, you know, put those in there.
Put all that stuff in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so cool when it arrives and then people like it. That is really awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, again, side note, you guys have picked a very interesting bottle shipping package. I don't have it right here next to me, but you use a styrofoam like 6-pack giant that holds up your 750 bottles and all that stuff. Dude, kudos to you guys for that. I mean, that A, can't be cheap, and B, has to be like one of the more thoughtful ways of trying to ship your stuff.
Yeah, somebody referred to that as bottle armor, but you know, yeah, like I said, it's like, yeah, it's I do everything I possibly can to get the mead to the customer, you know, safely, because I really don't want to risk broken anything. So yeah, we use those big bottle shippers, the big cardboard padding around them, either the singles or the 6s, or 12 if somebody wants to order a case. Just throwing it out there. But
shameless plug.
Absolutely.
Just for the record, then, in that case, do you guys do case discounts or anything like that online?
We do. We've got a 10% case discount.
Right on, standard. That's cool. Hey man, every little bit helps, especially when you're dealing with these shipping charges and stuff. I will take that 10% because that's going to, you know, eliminate any tax or whatever. You know, some people get kind of only 10%. How about nothing? How about you don't get it sometimes, man? Be thankful for what you do get. Jeez Louise. Your grandfather, you mentioned again in the beginning and everything, he had to have been a huge influence on you in the mead making process, if not your main influence. Was there anybody else who influenced you as well?
My dad's a English professor, and the way I heard about mead all those years ago, and the reason I wanted to make it, because you couldn't ever get it back then, was, you know, you grow up hearing about Beowulf, and you know, he could read Beowulf to him in the Old English, which is cool. So it's like, mead, what's that? You know, you couldn't even find out what it was back then for the most part. And he also has very kindly put up with my youthful experiments, because he and my mom were my test subjects for all of my various early efforts.
Well, that's very cool, man. I like the fact that it's your family that influences you. You know, there's a lot to be said for, I think, you know, passing down information through the generations. I think that's one of the things that's really lost in America these days, is that sense of who are we? Where do I come from? You know, and to see something like that passed down through, you know, 3 generations now, and potentially, I mean, your daughters might not homebrew as it is currently, but they have that information and knowledge in them, and that, you know, that everything. So whether they do it or they pass it on to theirs or teach their, you know, husbands or whatever, it's awesome that you guys are fulfilling that need in a culture that is lacking that very thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, very cool for that, my man. So you got a ton of stuff there going on. You got all sorts of different size tanks and whatever. But if money, funds, and everything weren't an issue, where does the mind go? What's the ultimate? What's the magnum opus, if it were?
Oh man, if I were to win the lottery, and in
Side
fact,
note, real quick, I'm doing a little half and half Midnight Dale Lear song. What do we call that?
Lyle's TK special.
There we go.
Be interested to see how that comes out. Yeah. Oh shoot! If I were to win the lottery, and
Yep.
Ginger and I were talking about this on the way down here, winning the lottery actually. Yeah, more tanks, more honey. Quit my job.
Yep.
Spend all my time making mead.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, good.
That adds a little bit of, cuts a little dryness into the front of the midnight dale, and they balance each other out almost like it was meant to be put together like that. The counterflicting notes like play off of each other. They don't like, it doesn't get washed out or anything, become all muddy. It's quite pleasant, my man. I like it.
Nice, wonderful.
So unlimited funds, we just increase what we're doing and make a bigger, better project all around, and
Yep.
try to just
Yep.
expose the world to Atheling Meadworks. Where'd the name come from, by the way?
It's Old English. It means prince or nobility.
Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Whoops, hold on a sec. Yeah, it's Atheling. Yeah,
Okay.
but that's fine. But yeah, it's found early in the Beowulf poem, and it is surprisingly challenging to come up with names for things that are your business that hadn't been taken already. But we wanted to do that because it kind of went in with the where we were going in the market,
Right.
with the premium wine segment, and we came up with that. But yeah, prince or nobility would be the best translation on that one.
Got you, my man. Well, that's very cool. So you're stuck on the desert island thing. You got 3 meads that washed up on shore with you from the plane crash out of your backpack and your storage. What are those 3 that we're hoping for? Whether they're yours or someone else's.
Oh man, that one is good. Now you've got 4 of my babies sitting in front of you, right?
You've got all your children to choose from, good sir. You have a
Yes.
decision. Who do we cut in half?
Yeah. Shield Maiden, Air Song, and then a half 50-50 mix of Midnight Dale and Lyre Song. How's that? The TK special.
The TK special. I love it, my man. Man, you know how to play to an audience, bro. That is phenomenal. Oh, dude. Thanks for coming on today. I'm having a great time talking to you, bro.
That's good. I love doing this. This is great.
Do you do a lot of not saying necessarily commercials, but do you do a lot of press or media there locally in Virginia? Have you had a lot of, say, like news interviews or paper or anything like that?
I have not. We put out, when we first started going, we put out some like press release kind of stuff. Yeah, I guess you'd say. I have had a couple of folks come over and interview with me, but not a ton. It's just kind of one of those things. Again, we do, we distribute to local stores,
right?
And so I'm perfectly happy with local stores getting some attention that our meat is there, and
right.
We ship around the country. So, but I hadn't had a lot of like, live interviews or anything like that going on. Just one of those things, I guess.
It always, that again is one of the things that trips me out. Some meaderies get like their local press or something happens where they just get all the attention, and other places it's like crickets, and it can be equally sized towns. It's just so weird how it is from place to place.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys get a lot of, first of all, is your tap room open currently?
We're open by appointment right now.
Okay.
And so folks will usually message us, and we just set up a time, come in, do the tour and tasting kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we don't have a real decorative setup. We have, big bar. I think I sent you a picture of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're doing just by appointment right now, where we just coordinate a time, whatever works best for folks, and make it happen.
Now, are you guys in an area where you would normally be able to get a lot of foot traffic if you had just the door swinging open?
Not really. We're by a fairly large road, but there's not much parking out front. And of course, we're in the back of a tire store, which is kind of cool in its own way. and the tire store has been great to work with. It's like you come in, drop off your car, get work done on it, make mead, go home. It's really worked out well.
Okay.
But yeah, we're really set up primarily for production and shipping from here as opposed to foot traffic.
Got you. So it's not really killing you guys that you're not being able to just have the door open and all that stuff. It's just more of a inconvenience.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's good for the business model. I mean, so it means you're not losing any money, but you're still not getting to, it's always nice when somebody comes down and sits down at the bar like this, to be able to talk to them and help, educate them and all that stuff. So now it's a different customer base, but man, I'm dying for you guys to get open over there. I'd love to be able to come out and sit at your bar and chew the fat with you, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, tell me when you're coming out. We'll make it happen. And,
yeah, I'm definitely trying to get out in that area. Like I said, I got to get out to Delaware and visit Brimminghorn, and you guys can't be too far from Southern Delaware.
About 6.5 hours.
And I drive 6.5 hours to LA on a weekend. That ain't no thing, brother. Okay,
good deal. Good deal. I got a gaming group that comes in here about every other week. I don't know if you saw the pictures or not. But,
may not have. I might have accidentally missed those. Like a Dungeons and Dragons group or a...
Yeah, they're on the Facebook page. But that's been a bunch of fun. Sit around, roll some dice at the bar. It's been pretty awesome.
Dude, yeah, see that? Yeah, one of our meaderies here does that. They have one of the local radio stations. Their afternoon DJ on the rock station is a huge Dungeons and Dragons player, and he gets his group of people to go out and they hang out at the meadery for a day and take over and do a live broadcast. It's freaking amazing. I love seeing the meadery culture, exposed in every variety, in every way possible, man. I love seeing that. It's just so awesome.
Yeah, it's been a bunch of fun having them out here.
Dude, I can imagine. They probably are a hoot out there.
Use your turn signal.
I was just gonna say, we're getting down to, you watch a lot of my interviews, man. You are freaking amazing, Stephen. Thank you for that.
I think I've seen them all, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
If I may be so bold, then what drew you to watching my channel? Somebody who's so well versed in the worlds of mead. I'm like the antithesis of what you are, my man. What would be the desire in talking to me?
I wind up just kind of occasionally perusing like mead stuff, and I came across your tkanddrinks honest mead reviews.
Gotcha.
And was like, oh, this is cool. So I started watching those and just kept watching them there. I mean, you can always learn more,
Fair enough, my man. I will take any compliment I can get, and that is as big a compliment as they come from somebody who's been making mead for, the majority of their life, to be able to just say, hey, I'm willing to learn from what this guy has to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love seeing the different ways different meaderies do things and, getting their story too. So it's been fun to watch.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that that's one of the things that I wanted to do as well, is be able to expose people to different flavor profiles and different, just, see what else is out there. Because I know, a lot of people don't have access to that, because even with Vino Shipper, that's still only, like you said, if you buy the biggest package that Vino Shipper has, it's like 42 states. So there's still 8 states worth of people that have no access to your stuff.
Yeah, it depends a bit on like the different state rules and regulations and stuff. But yeah, so we can go to 40 states, but there's 10 I can't get to. That's what
I'm saying. So like even with Vino Shipper, best case scenario, you're still missing, 20% of what the country has to offer as far as states wise, and I just want to be able to give people the opportunity to see what's out there and see what other people are doing flavor profile wise, and I love to be able to. And you're the second mead maker that I've talked to that said something similar to that. And to me, that just fascinates me that other mead makers are out there interested to see what, other people are doing through, this type of medium. That's very cool. Let's get to that end portion of the interview that you are so anxiously getting to, Mr. Don't want pineapple on my pizza prior to even starting the interview.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. I apologize.
No,
I just
no
couldn't
worries.
resist
I'm
that
just
one.
giving you the business, man. I love it. Again, it's endearing that you've watched enough to know to even bring something up like that. So again, I'm flattered and humbled. So it's the part I call "Shut Up, TK." Just answer some. I'll just rapid fire ask some questions at you, see what kind of answers you give, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, man.
So, what's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning?
Wish I didn't have to go into my day job and could come into the meadery. That one's pretty easy.
Hot or cold?
Oh, goodness. Now that one, in the middle of winter, I'd say hot. Right now, I'm going with cold. I wish I'm wishy-washy on that, I have to say.
Turn signal. Do you ever use your turn signal? Do you always use your turn signal?
I always use the turn signal.
Always use the turn signal. Cat person, dog person, caged animal person?
Mainly cats.
Mainly cats. You guys have a cat there at the meadery, catches mice?
We don't here. We've got one at the house and another one that we've just adopted.
Nice. You already said pineapple on your pizza?
No, thank you.
No, thank you to pineapple on the pizza.
Yeah.
Any adverse adjuncts on your pizza? Let me rephrase it. Any out of the normal adjuncts on your pizza? Say barbecue sauce instead of marinara or something like that?
Nah, standard pizza with everything and I'm good.
Stay the course.
Yeah.
Toilet paper over the front or under the back?
Oh, over the front. Come on.
We're not heathens here. Come on now.
Well, I am, but that's a different story.
Touche, my good man. I forgot which company I might have been amongst. Your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Ooh, the ones with the peanut butter on them.
Yes.
What are those things called?
Tagalongs?
Tagalongs, yes.
And the one with the little scoop of peanut butter in the middle.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I meant right there. Taco or burgers?
Burgers.
First mead you ever got trashed on?
Goodness. Did I mention burn a monastery?
You took the time to get trashed on something like that?
No, I didn't. I was trying to think.
Time.
I honestly don't drink a ton. It's like my wife's trying to tell me something. Oh, Ginger says that she has never seen me drunk. We're going with that one.
Oh, hey, man, if that's coming from the wife unprompted, we'll have to take that as a cue. Otherwise, you got one solid wife. I mean, either way, you got a solid wife there coming with a solid answer. Favorite breakfast cereal? What did we say?
Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes, that's right. If you have any superpower, what would that be?
Flying.
Flying. Oh, yeah.
Flying. Oh, I love to fly. Yeah. Just in general, I love to fly. But yeah, flying.
Do you cook?
Yes, I do.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Mostly egg stuff. Backstory. We live out in the country and we topped out at 23 chickens a couple of years ago. Yeah. So I figured out how to fix eggs in a lot of different ways. And so I will fix all sorts of egg things.
I love eggs myself in most varieties. Over easy, over hard, omelets, scrambled, just give it to me.
Yeah.
Lastly, but not leastly, well, not lastly, almost lastly, what's the worst job you ever had?
Oh.
I can hear your wife laughing at that one.
Yeah. Oh. I was
for legal purposes, we cannot name names.
Yeah, she reminds me that for legal purposes, we cannot name names.
Fair enough.
I used to work in a mall. That one was not much fun.
Ooh, yeah, I can imagine not.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll just move on. I would love to be a mead maker full time. How's that?
There we go, man. I'm in agreement. I would love to work with mead in any variety, any capacity as a full-time job and not have to go punch a time clock somewhere else.
Yep.
So my name is Stephen Ausband, and if I wasn't a mead maker, I would be a...
Oh, wow. If I wasn't a mead maker. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm looking to my wife. We've been married for 30. How long have we been married?
Oh, 32 years.
Oh,
32 years.
bad
So,
question. Bad question.
So like, yeah, I have to double check, and she knows me better than I know me. So, yep, I'm gonna go with pilot on that one.
Pilot. Right on, my
Oh
man.
yeah, I came pretty close to being a pilot back in the day, actually. So for a job, but yeah, still love to fly.
We'll have to save that story for next time. If you would be grant me the honor of coming back for a second interview in the future sometime.
I would love to. Would love to, and definitely want to have you out here, man. Have you? Yeah, we'll sit down at the bar. We'll chew the fat. I can talk mead like forever, and
Yes.
yeah, we'll see what we got going then. Would love to have you out.
We'll have to make it. We'll have to make a date out of it because I'm dying to come out that way. I would love to see what your guys' setup is. Check out the whole area and all that stuff. Why don't you let everybody know where they can find you and how they can get a hold of you and buy your meads and all that stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, you can find us on Vino Shipper. We've got our website, athelingmead.com. You can order off the website, and order comes in. We come in, box it up in one of our bottle armor boxes, and send it your way. And then we're in some stores around the area. If you're in Roanoke, Barrel Chest, Lynchburg is craft beer cellar, and then we've got Republic of Floyd in Floyd, Virginia. Fredericksburg Brew Exchange, and in Blacksburg as well. So
there it is.
Around
Where can they find you online?
athelingmead.com, or you can find us on Facebook. Just put in Atheling, and I think we're the first thing that pops up.
That's Atheling, Atheling Meadworks. Go check them out. Give them a like, give them a share, give them a follow, all those things. Buy some mead from them, pick up some Midnight Deal, pick up some Firesong, Lear Song, pick up some Shield Maiden, pick up whatever is suiting your flavor profile, pick up something that's not, and expand your palate. And thank you again so much, Stephen, for being here tonight, man. It was an absolute pleasure. I had a blast talking to you, my man.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been great chatting. And
like I said, we'll have to do it again in the future.
Absolutely. Anytime. And like I said, please come by if you're out here. I'd love to show you around.
Next time I get to Virginia, you're the first person I'm calling, my man. I promise.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, good night, good evening. Later.